Ladies and gentlemen, it's your favorite Minecraft YouTuber, Sexton here, and before we get into it, I just want to say that making this intro is a bit awkward because I call myself a Minecraft YouTuber ironically, because I don't actually make content on that block game, and it's like coming out as me being genuine and people think I am some cornball, so I just want to get out of the way. Anyways, I kid you not even 4 days into the New Year's, the big 2025, another YouTuber got called out for talking and interacting with a minor. Now, I don't believe in any harmful stereotypes, but in this situation, I just want you guys to I can't ever seem to say that correctly. Anyways, I want you guys to just pretend and guess which genre of YouTubers was part of this allegations. If you guys guessed Minecraft YouTubers, you are right. From Dream being a groomer, What's being a rabbit bite dog, popular MMOs being a felon, and countless more being pedophiles, they really just sullied the good name of Minecraft. But the culprit in today's program is a YouTuber who goes by Zyph. He started uploading around 2014 about some random world that he and other YouTubers were playing on. Then he moved on to Pixelmon, then Hunger Games, then minigames, SMPs, Skywars, and so on. But then he finally settled on Bed Wars, where many people know him from. I actually first stumbled upon his content in 2020 when he was doing Bed Wars videos, so yeah. He was actually a very prominent person in the Hypixel Bed Wars community, with him having over 30k subs on YouTube in 2017, and a special rank on that server for his contributions. By the way, if an alleged predator takes advantage of his viewers and he could have that much subs 8 years ago, why can't I? It's not like I couldn't take advantage of you guys. I'm underage. If anything, it's the other way around. If you guys would be so kind to like and sub, it would mean a lot to me. And only 1% of you guys are subscribed to me, so yeah.
So Zyph, the subject of today's video, started his channel all the way back in 2014, and he debuted with his first video the very same day. And over time, he expanded his content to include a lot of very familiar things like Pixelmon, and of course he played a lot of Hunger Games, which was personally what I watched a lot back in the day. I loved Captain Sparkle's Hunger Games. That was my stuff. And he also did some mini-game mashups, okay? Ooh, mashup, mini-game. And through doing all these kinds of content, through becoming involved with the Minecart and Pulse SMP servers, from doing Skywars videos on Hypixel, by late 2017, he had a little bit of an audience for himself. He had reached 30,000 subscribers, earning him the coveted YouTuber rank in the Hypixel server.
Anyways, context and shameless plugs out of the way, let me just let you in on some fun facts. This is what his Discord server is called.
But that does not mean that his audience is completely gone, as his Discord server, called Zyph's Happy Place, was still very active until recently, because invites are now paused.
His freaking Discord server is called Zyph's Happy Place. You cannot be serious with me right now. Diddy has his baby oil playpen, Epstein has his Peter Pan Island, and Zyph has his Happy Place Discord server where he tells little kids to join. I mean, I am not surprised that he called his place that. I mean, just look at him. This whole situation first was brought into the spotlight on December 15, 2024. A burner X account sent out a tweet saying that Zyph was dating a 13-year-old when he was 19/20 years old. The user then put out some evidence between in a thread. This was then brought into Reddit, where it went extremely viral, but on the same day, the victim asked an anonymous poster to take it down. I mean, at this time, everyone is confused. Zyph was never in any major drama, and he wasn't known to be problematic. In the thread, by the burner account, they talked in third person. The user seemed to be someone who was a friend of the victim, so the victim herself wasn't actually the one sending out all of this. The victim then told the user that they can repost the expose, but to censor some things for her privacy. But here's the official statement that the victim put out.
Back in 2018, I was groomed and SA'd by YouTuber Dylan /Zyphalopagus/Zyph at the age of 13 and 14 whilst he was 19 and 20. I am now 19. It started with me being a fan. After I did a lot of artwork for him and started doing paid work, we started talking. Eventually, in May of 2018, we started dating. I was a stupid kid. I was very troubled. I was bullied in school, had nothing good going for me, and I had low self-esteem. I spent a lot of time online and got close to Dylan, but for the first month of our relationship, I lied about my age and told him I was 16. After our first real-life meetup at VidCon in 2018, only 1 month after our relationship began, I finally told him the truth, and he knew from that point on that I was only 13 years old. I pleaded with him not to break up with me, but my begging was not needed. He seemed to have absolutely no intent of breaking up with me, and this caused no problem for him at all. We eventually did break break up in July of 2019, but not before we met and spent time together on 4 other occasions in person, in which I was SA'd. During this time period, I attempted ending my own life twice, resulting in 2 hospitalizations. I'd like to state that talking about this situation, or even thinking about it, puts me in a lot of emotional distress and makes me sick. This was a terrible time in my life, and I look back on it with disgust, anger, and sadness. This is why I'm keeping myself anonymous. If you know who I am, and we used to be friends, feel free to reach out if you wish. Currently, at this point in my life, we haven't talked since 2020, and I have to some extent erased a lot of these thoughts and memories from my head due to trauma. I can't even remember his last name anymore. After this is out, I just want to move on with my life, go to work again, live with my current partner, who I love so much, and hang out with my cats. I'm planning on having a very nice holiday with my family. I wish to not go into certain specifics because of how traumatic some of these situations were. The thought of them makes me physically sick, like I want to throw up. Thank you for reading this and reading my side of the story.
So yeah, all of this is messed up. My whole stake is that I present you with a segment and then make jokes about it. But this topic isn't much to joke about. But to sum it up, the victim was paid for work for Zyph, and then all of this spiraled out of control with them being in an inappropriate relationship. They then met up during VidCon, and they did some inappropriate and illegal, might I add, things. Then it all ended, and a few years later, all of this was brought into light. So basically, Minecraft Redditor 101, like I'm not even joking. This is how most Minecraft exposés for pedophiles usually go. Most of them don't have evidence and most likely fake for attention, but this one has some meat to it. And for the people defending Zyph saying that the victim lied about her age, you seem to forget that the victim was still 16 at the time and Zyph was 19 or 20. And that's still technically illegal, but if you want to argue the Romeo-Juliet law, when the victim was like fessing up, Zyph was completely fine with it and it still went on with the sexually inappropriate relations. That's like messed up. But I don't believe in allegations without provided information, so where's the proof?
Now, the statement also included 2 separate photos. One of them is apparently a picture of Zyph with the alleged victim, and another one of them seems to be a point of view of the victim taking a photo with Zyph and a cat. Because a few days later, another thread would be created that included the victim's statement along with a bit more extra information. They first say that the victim had allegedly been making thumbnails and that Zyph had even titled a stream with her called Hypixel Stream with My Girlfriend. Zyph had also allegedly publicly been showing off this relationship, with one tweet showing him and the victim on a 10-day trip, another one where he apparently can be seen mentioning the victim in a tweet saying that he loves her, and another where he's adding her being like Happy Valentine's Day with an apparent picture of him and her fursona. It is one of those.
Shout out to Furs.
This was allegedly in 2019, which would make the ages 14 on the victim's side and Zyph like 20 or 21. And the thread then ends with 2 pictures showing the victim's current alleged age and Zyph's current age, along with a statement which says, the victim's bio now says she's 19. Zyph is now 26. The relationship began in 2018. We have censored her ad for her privacy, but people who were around in this community at this time will know this is legit. We have seen her ID and can also confirm that she is 19.
This evidence is damning but not concrete. In the eyes of the law, the jury will not convict. I actually don't know if the jury will. I have just been watching Suits a lot lately and that felt cool to say. And speaking of the law, all of this are allegations and this video was made for entertainment purposes only. Don't take this seriously. I am just a dumb kid. But Zyph, a few days later, made a statement confirming some allegations and provided proof that was missing.
Skepticism that lasted until 3 days later, where Zyph would make a response, actually confirming several things they previously had no evidence for, as well as making some pretty interesting statements that kind of complicate this whole thing even more. Now, Zyph's response is very long and talks about a lot of irrelevant things, so we'll try to kind of cover the stuff that matters here and that's relevant. He starts the document saying that the statement had a lot of incorrect information, but that he has the full story. He then talks about the first time meeting her when they talked in 2017 online, when she started out as a fan that made thumbnails for his channel. He also says in messages talking about thumbnails or art projects that she was working on during that time, she mentioned that her birthday had just happened in April and that she was 16 years old. I was 18 years old at that time. Keep that in mind for later. Now, Zyph recounts that in May of 2018, after recording a video, she asked him out, believing that she was 17 while he was 19, and given their shared interests and positive interactions, he agreed. In June of 2018, he then attended VidCon in California, where she and her family, who were also attending, invited him to dinner and subsequently on a road trip to see the redwood trees. The trip included her parents, her older sister, her older cousin, and of course Zyph. He notes that she appeared close in age to her sister and her cousin, at least according to him, and none of the family contradicted her claims about her age during their time together. He says that he felt very welcomed by the family and had no reason to suspect any dishonesty. He even recalls sleeping on the living room couch while others had separate rooms, and he described the trip as enjoyable, with activities like hiking, gaming, and group discussions, whatever the fuck that means. After the trip, Zyph states they continued collaborating on YouTube videos, gaming, and calling regularly. Her parents often apparently join these calls, sharing stories and encouraging their communication. I don't know if the parents have Discord accounts. I don't really know, but you know, anything's possible. And Zyph maintains that he was unaware of this deception at the time, right? He's kind of maintaining that he didn't know her true age. And this is kind of where it starts to get really weird. Throughout the time I had known her, there were times where she would be offline for a few days or even a week, and she often gave reasons and excuses for her absence afterwards. She would say she was traveling for a vacation, or there was a power outage or hardware or computer failure, with zero contact on any platform during or ahead of time, which confused me. There were also more stories about her getting emotionally upset more and more often as time went on. Usually intertwined into this story was a random out of context comment about her age with no clarification or explanation as to what she meant or how it was connected to her story when I would ask her what it meant. Many months later, I found out that a lot of these reasons she would disappear were due to arguments with her parents about the lie she created about her age and a few various hospitalizations around emotional instability and her lying to others consistently and her attempting to self-harm and potentially wanting to end her own life upon reflection of what she had been doing or lying about. There was one instance where she had thrown her keyboard and knocked her monitor onto the floor, causing it to break, so she couldn't be online for a while until it was paid for and replaced. But I didn't know any of this at the time. So I also found out later that she had created private accounts and places that she would draw not safe for work art of her and my characters in provocative and explicit positions, and had been doing so randomly over the course of several months. When I found out, I asked her to stop posting and creating that art as it makes me uncomfortable, and was done so without my permission or knowledge. She slowly reduced how often she posted that content, but did not fully stop after I asked. In my life, on multiple occasions during this trip, I would be woken up by her trying to lie with me while I was sleeping. On multiple occasions, she asked me or attempted to have sex with me, to which I replied, no. He stopped gooning. My entire life, I've been surrounded by a Christian family and never wanted to be involved or take part in sex before marriage. This has always been my viewpoint, and this was my first relationship in my entire life. So being able to stand on my beliefs and saying no in that situation is very important to me and my foundation and morals as a person. And I had talked to her parents about my beliefs during past trips. After I had said no, I talked to her parents about it during this trip as it made me uncomfortable. So to be accused of this after that being my stance on the entire interaction is unfair and extremely hurtful. As at the beginning of April 2019, I got a phone call from her, being the girl, crying with her parents in the background, telling her to tell him the truth, this story needs to stop right now. So through tears, she said on a phone call that she was turning 14 years old later that month and not 18 years old, and she had said previously that she had been lying about her age online to all her friends, including me, since before I had ever met her. I was in shock that our entire friendship and relationship had been built on a lie that had been supported and fabricated by her entire family for years to keep her emotionally stable and alive. After she said it, she started screaming and crying so loud that at moments the phone speaker would cut out and it was very hard to understand what she was saying afterwards. I was shocked, confused, and concerned about her emotional state. Hours of stories, timelines of events, and what I had been told by everyone around her on separate trips to different places was all a lie. I didn't know what to do at that moment and felt betrayed. To this day, I still have extreme trust issues and paranoia about being lied to with most people, friends, and family because of this entire interaction with her and her family over this time spent interacting with one another. Over the course of the next few months, I didn't know what to do to be able to break up with her without her potentially harming herself. Her interactions were built upon a lie and betrayed my trust on so many levels, but I still cared about her well-being because I have a heart. I intentionally and consistently encouraged her to do things with her new friends at her new school and to choose to focus on art. I encouraged her to be busy with activities outside of interacting with me all the time.
Anyway, so he basically confirmed most things about what the victim was saying, but added things that might skew things in his favor, making everything look like he is the victim and all of this is just a witch hunt. But Zyph, you realize that you are not the victim here, right? You are saying that you did not break up with a underage girl because you were scared for her mental health is just shocking to me. I may or may not be in the wrong for saying this, but the harm from her potentially hurting herself is less than you, and you specifically, staying as far away from her as humanly possible. At least this is what, in my opinion, anyone with common sense would do. But I don't think Zyph agrees with this because not only did he stay with the girl once she confesses to a huge age difference, he decides to go on another family trip with the victim and her parents, which he accuses the victim of wanting to have sex with Zyph multiple times on the trip behind her parents' back. Which I gotta say this again, this is also on her parents. I don't care if your daughter fights over it or threatens to do harm upon herself. You do not let her date a 20-year-old degenerate who does not have a real job and make Minecraft videos online. And worse, you not only allow her to do so, you embrace him by letting him go on several family trips. That is crazy. How bad can your parenting be for a 13-year-old daughter to be in that situation? I know as a parent, you can only do so much. She was being bullied in school, which no doubt pushed her deeper into Zyph. But at the end of the day, you can also do a lot. You two made the kid, and you two are the two people in her life that she should trust the most, and she definitely known for the most. I don't know who is more at fault. The parents or Zyph. Anyways, back to the story. The Zyph said that after the trip, the victim along with her parents went to his house and pleaded for them to do the do the thingy, you know? They finally broke up in September 2019. This happened with him calling her when she was in the car with her mom, and the reason he gave her was a huge age difference and all of that bullcrap. This should have happened a long time ago, and doing this in a moving car is stupid considering the character that you made her out to be. She then started begging him to stay. I don't know why. I mean, like, look at him. But thankfully, the psycho that Zyph made the victim look out to be did not crash the car with herself and her mom in it. Her mom calmed her down and they ended there. Now it's time for us to disprove all of this.
Now, after Zyph posted this response, the original Twitter account that linked to the victim's statement would reply with a video of Zyph apparently talking to the victim while they were dating.
Hey Sam.
Yeah?
If you were a Pokemon item
Uh-huh.
and you were used on me, you know what you would do?
What? Fuck.
Days later, when a 70-page document will be released along with a Google Drive folder showing several alleged inconsistencies and contradictions in Zyph's story, as well as more videos and photos that had not previously. Contrary to what Zyph says, she wasn't lying that she was 16, she was lying that she was 15. That might not seem like a huge deal given the obviously large age gap, but in some states, 15 and 16 is the difference between legal and jail time. And the document also aims to confirm that the victim was born on April 24th, 2005, confirming the real age she actually was with a photo of a driver's license, which, you know, I'm assuming is hers. It could be someone else's, but I'm assuming it's hers. Screenshots are also shown confirming that this victim did indeed start dating Zyph in May of 2018, at which point the girl would have been 16 in the lie and 13 in reality. But the biggest thing here, though, is as it turns out, Zyph had allegedly lied about when he knew her real age in the statement. Moreover, he seemed much more okay with it in DMs and straight up admitted to a lot of weird things. These screenshots provide a lot of confirmations. The victim was 12 years old when she and Zyph developed feelings for each other and was 13 when they started dating. They began dating on May 4th, 2018. This is confirmed via messages in the general log from 2018, which shows them wishing each other a happy 2-month anniversary on July 4th. The fact that she was 13 and yet decided to continue engaging in a romantic relationship with her despite knowing her true age. Victim: I've been lying about my age for 2 years. I'm 13. And he just says, yeah. And then on the same day, Zyph says she was just concerned that the age difference would be too much. But I said from the beginning that I'll wait for her. So he's directly acknowledging the age here. And this guy says, oh, so you're like broken up? Zyph says, nope. And this guy's just like, I put a video of Zyph and the victim that can be seen on the couch together, which according to this document is dated way after he admitted he knew her real age. In the document, there is a screenshot of someone saying that one of the victim's cousins reached out to them about Zyph engaging in oral sex with the victim. There's also another person saying they had gotten into contact with the cousin, that the parents knew, and that the victim's cousin is trying to get the police involved. But other than that, there's no definitive proof of anything as far as that in real life taking place. It's not, you know, super far-fetched to believe it could happen, but I just haven't seen it directly or, you know, seen a police report or something, I guess. There are, however, several screenshots of what seems like Zyph trying to cover up anyone talking about this.
So yeah, Zyph put out a statement that he believes will make him look innocent, but in the statement he basically confirmed all of the allegations, with the only difference being that she was the instigator and that they did not do the devil's favorite dance. But at the end of the day, best case scenario is that this isn't legally wrong, but only morally wrong. But Zyph shouldn't be an entertainer for kids that gets paid generously. Huge thanks to Tom Dark for making a video on this. I got most of the information from him.